This is Rock and Roll English. Real people, real English. Here's your host, Martin Johnston.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Rock and Roll English. Episode number 164, baby. Oh yeah. In today's episode I speak to Corporal Coma. Yes, that is right. About getting old. It probably sounds like the most depressing episode in the world at the moment, you know, speaking to Corporal Coma, speaking about getting old, but you will be in for a surprise. We talk about lots of things such as travel insurance and H's and T's that go missing, as well as many other things. There is lots of rock and roll vocabulary which you will be able to find on the website rockandrollenglish.com. Episode number 164, and if you want an episode every day of the week with a transcript on your phone, rockandrollenglish.com/family, baby. I will talk to you all again at the end, but in the meantime, happy listening. Corporal Coma, how are you today?
Always amazing, Martin. Always amazing.
Well, I say always fantastic, so I know you tried to steal my line there, but unfortunately, you haven't succeeded.
You're completely wrong. I haven't tried to sue. I know you do that. Hellraiser did it. I'm just mixing it up.
Nice to know that you've been listening, doing your homework. That's always nice to know. Nice rock and roll vocabulary as well there, mixing it up, changing it a bit. Yeah, you also mixed up your appearance today because I'm looking at Corporal Coma now and he is not wearing a t-shirt. I feel like I'm having Skype sex, as they say.
I mean, I'm not good at real sex, so I mean, Skype sex for me is going to be dreadful.
Well, maybe we can give it a try at the end.
Yeah.
So last time we spoke to you, Corporal Coma, it was actually the day of your wedding on this podcast. So how is married life?
It's been good. Yeah, it's been...
It's been good. You say that like it's coming to an end. Like, yeah, it's been good the last 2 months, but I think that's enough of being married for me. Just get something new now.
Well, no, I mean, everyone always said, will you feel any different? And I thought, no, of course I won't. Like, we've been together for ages. And I do feel a bit different.
Yeah, you mentioned that on one of the family episodes that we did, which we will be coming back to later on. But before we get there, how do we usually start the show?
With a review, Martin.
Do you think we have a review?
As an avid listener now, I think that we don't, as you have recently quite a lot.
You are on fire. So when you are on fire, you are getting everything right, because that's exactly what happened. We've been on a good run, but all good things come to an end. So unfortunately, no review today. Nice rock and roll vocabulary again there when he said that I'm an avid listener. Like, I'm a really keen listener. I listen a lot. Always things just don't go well when you're here, Corporal Coma. I had 2 great episodes with the Hellraiser, 2 reviews, you come back, and Jesus Christ, no review, nothing.
I mean, the amount that you moaned about the Hellraiser doesn't sound like it was a great couple of weeks.
Yeah, no, you're right. People may know Corporal Coma and the Hellraiser live quite different lives. They do know each other very well, though, but the Hellraiser's out there living a carefree life in Uganda, whilst Corporal Coma is here, I don't know, ironing his underwear. Was that what you were doing before we started recording?
No, I was not. I've never ironed underwear in my life. That's absolutely madness.
You say that. I think you have. So, something you mentioned there at the start of the show, how you feel different now. When we spoke last time, you told me you feel like more of a grown-up. So, grown-up is the word we use for, like, let's say, an official adult. So that's obviously still the case now that you're a married man, yeah? A real grown-up.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, maybe there's some other things. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I still do a lot of stupid stuff, so...
Yeah, that's just you. So, yeah, I'm still crazy, man. Yeah, come on, yeah. I'm still crazy.
Oh, God, sometimes I go to bed at like 11. It's mad.
On a school night?
Oh, no, God, no, not on a school night. No.
So remember, we say school night for when you have to work the next day. So sort of getting old is sort of the topic of the conversation today, because it's your birthday next week. I suppose this week, for when people listening to this. So you'll be turning 34. Notice the verb there, turning 34. So you're no spring chicken now, are you, Corporal Coma?
No, I mean, I think I've always been about 52 inside. But, you know.
I completely agree with that. So when I said before there, no spring chicken, that's a nice term we used to say you're getting a little bit old. So the title for this episode is You Know You're Getting Old When, okay? And then I'm going to give you some circumstances and we're going to have a chat about them. Is that all right?
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
So in true rock and roll English style, we've got one toilet-related one first, okay? So you know you're getting old when you have a specific time of the day to do a poo. Is that the case with you, Corporal Coma?
To be fair, yeah. I mean, it's pretty much when I wake up. Yeah, it's immediately when I wake up, that's what I do. Get in the shower.
You don't poo in the shower, do you?
No. The toilet's next to the shower.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing pissing in the shower, but pooing in the shower is just, oh, God, no.
Do you piss in the shower?
Who doesn't piss in the shower?
You've been in my shower before. And you actually said your shower's a bit dirty. And then you went in there and pissed everywhere, so.
Honestly, I think, well, pissing in the shower is just one of those things that everyone does, just no one likes to mention it. But I'm breaking the rules. That's what rock and roll English is, and telling it how it is. So there's some nice vocabulary. Telling it how it is. Telling it how, you know, what really happens. Okay? Everyone pisses in the shower.
I mean, do you think Mrs. Rock and Roll pisses in the shower?
I've never asked her, but maybe
you just
I
said
will.
Everyone does it, so.
Well, all the boys do, don't they? It's a boy thing, isn't it? I've never asked her. Maybe it's a conversation that we'll have when we're married, Corporal Coma. Maybe we're just not ready for that pissing in the shower conversation.
If it was a Hellraiser, it would be the shall we piss on each other conversation beforehand.
I'm sure, well, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to. I'm sure, no, you know what, it's probably not a good idea. Yes, so you poo immediately when you wake up. I poo after breakfast, have breakfast at 8. I do a bit of work on Rock and Roll English on the podcast, 8:45. You can set your watch by it. I will be on that toilet doing that poo.
I'm in a rush in the morning though. You sound like you give yourself about 4 hours to get ready.
Get it there. Get my phone out, just take it easy, okay? Life is there to be enjoyed, especially on the toilet. So the next one's kind of similar, is you know you're old when you wake up happy because you didn't have to go to the toilet during the night. Is this something that that you do?
No, I never go to from the moment I go to sleep to the moment I wake up, I'm not waking up to go to the toilet. That doesn't happen.
But what if you wake up and you need to go? What do you do? Just piss the bed?
Oh, it doesn't really happen. I mean, maybe like once every 3 months, if I've maybe eaten something dodgy or drunk loads before going to sleep, I might need to wake up. But I mean, that never really happens.
Notice there that Corporal Coma used some nice rock and roll vocabulary when he said eating something dodgy, something not safe, let's say, maybe plays games with your stomach. Also, I'd like to point out some rock and roll pronunciation there when he said it doesn't happen. Sometimes those H's just go missing, don't they, Corporal Coma?
I just offer something different. You know, we know this, you know.
Just have not got time for H's. Happen? Fuck it. Let's just say happen.
Like I said, I'm in a rush. I'm always in a rush.
Always in a rush. I haven't even got time for the H's. I must admit, I do sometimes wake up, especially in the summer. I'm drinking a lot of water. I need to stay hydrated with this heat, Coma. And then I wake up and I think, can I get back to sleep? Or do I have to get up? You can kind of sleep it off. So when you sleep something off, you go to sleep and basically everything's okay. But sometimes you have to do it and it's a fucking nightmare.
See, I have the opposite problem because I don't drink any water, so I'm constantly dehydrated. So what I actually wake up with is that I really need to drink some water.
Much like the H's go missing with happen and appen, sometimes those T's go missing as well, don't they, Corporal Coma, with water. Are
you subtly telling me to try and pronounce my T's and H's?
No, I am not. This is why you're here. Real English, baby. I'm just here to highlight it to the listeners. So when they go to England, they will understand, Corporal Coma. Yes, that is what I'm here on this earth to do.
Got it.
So the next one is you know you're old when you start buying travel insurance. Now, I want to know, do you buy travel insurance?
Honestly, I've got about 3 policies. I've got it like free with a bank, free with my phone, and then buy myself one as well.
So not only does he have travel insurance, he's got it actually 3 times just to be extra safe. It's like, I suppose, having sex and not just wearing 1 condom, just put 3 on just to be sure, hey?
To be fair, I know I shouldn't do it because it's costing me an arm and a leg. I should really just cancel probably 2 of them, but just covering the angles.
Well, exactly. So nice rock and roll vocabulary again, though. It's costing me an arm and a leg a lot of money, but just covering my angles, just covering every base. That does not surprise me at all. I can honestly say I have never bought travel insurance. I haven't got travel insurance. Maybe you can give me one of your policies, though, Corporal Coma. Given that you've got 3, just give one to me. Change the name on the policy.
No, it's not going to happen. No way.
I bet you have got insurance just for every possibility. You've probably got, I don't know, Brexit insurance in case the value of the property that you live in goes down. You've got insurance just in case. You can never be too safe.
That doesn't exist, and I can assure you, if it did exist, I would have it.
Probably have at least 2 policies as well.
Well, yeah.
Well done. As we said, it's better to be safe than sorry. So another one is, you know you're getting old when going home earlier is better than staying out late. What do you think about that, Corporal Coma?
Yeah, I still like to stay out late sometimes. Just needs to be in moderation.
I am with you there. I think I highlighted this perfectly on your stag do. So remember, the stag do is the party before the wedding, when Corporal Coma was too drunk to continue. And I saw the possibility to go home early, and I took it with both hands. Yeah, don't worry, I will look after him. I will take care of him, and I will go to bed early. You boys go out, have a good night. I'll go to bed early. Don't worry.
But you then took me for another drink. So I don't know what you were doing.
Well, that's kind of true.
I just think you just didn't want to talk to anyone else anymore.
Well, that's kind of true. I didn't take you for another drink. We were already in the pub. You actually couldn't stand up. It was actually impossible for you to stand up. So we waited there. I would say we waited an hour in silence because you couldn't actually talk. And then once you sort of learnt how to talk again, then I thought, well, let's just buy another drink now.
I mean, that would have been the opportunity to take me home, not go, right, get him another double brandy.
Well, I did then take you home, and Corporal Coma was staying in a different room to me, but obviously he didn't have the keys to his room. So then we got in bed together, didn't we? I had a lovely little cuddle there. That was absolutely brilliant.
We did. I think there's a photo floating around of us both with our tops off, having the time of our lives.
Top off in bed is okay. Recording on Skype, I'm not 100% sure.
We've been in bed with a lot less on than that.
That is actually very true. Just so people know, Corporal Coma and I have slept in bed together, naked a couple of times. And this wasn't intentional on my half. It happened during the night that my pants got ripped off. That may sound crazy, but that is actually true. So I didn't have any pants. I got into bed and said to Corporal Coma, could you lend me some pants? He said, no, you have to sleep naked, and then insisted on taking his off as well. So just a normal night.
I didn't rip your pants off. This wasn't like an elaborate game so I could get you in bed with your pants off.
That is true.
I've also seen you naked a million times, so I didn't need to do that.
Also true. Probably should expand on how my pants got ripped off, but we'll probably leave that for another podcast. So another one we've got here is, you're old when people your age have babies on purpose. So how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I know anyone that has one by accident.
Well, as soon as I saw that, I started thinking about a couple of people we went to school with that had babies by accident. And I was thinking those babies will be like 20 now. They'll be like, real people.
I always get a bit confused by this because, it's not that hard not to have a baby. I've managed it for the last, I've been having sex for about 4 years now, so,
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I've managed it, but I've only had sex about twice in my life.
Yeah. But, it's not hard.
You've probably managed it because every time you have sex, you wear 3 condoms.
Well, yeah, it's a good point, yeah.
Moving on, though, kind of similar, is another one which says, you're old when you speak to people born this millennium in a normal way. Because I think it means, so like, let's say my nieces, I talk to them, but not in a kind of normal way like I talk to you. But when you talk to someone born this millennium and, they're like 19.
Yeah, I find that it's the other weird thing, and you'll agree with this, is that it's when you see footballers that were born this millennium.
Oh, God.
And they're obviously earning about 100 grand a week and are playing for like Tottenham or Man United or whatever, and you're like, oh my God.
I was actually watching the Manchester United-Chelsea game the other day, and I was thinking, I'm not so old, my life hasn't gone, I'm only 34. And then the commentator said something about Pedro, the Spanish player, and said, oh, he's the oldest player, he's 32. And I thought, oh, fuck.
But I still think that those players that are 32 look older than us.
Maybe in your mind, but I don't think that's really true. Mm. But you keep telling yourself that just to make yourself feel good. Another one we have here, something that I really find interesting, is you're old when you see girls wearing a short skirt in winter and think to yourself, she must be cold.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, where I live, people don't really, that's not a thing that people do. They don't really wear short skirts because everyone's quite kooky and everyone's got weird clothes on. If anything, they've got clothes that are too big on.
So you used some nice rock and roll vocabulary there. What was it? Kooky? You'll have to explain that one, Corporal Cam. That's a new word, I think. Alternative, yes, absolutely. A bit like quirky, maybe. I must admit, though, I have done this. I have seen girls with short skirts, whilst maybe there was a time in the past where I probably thought, oh, hello. That's good. Now I do think, God, that girl must be freezing cold. What is she thinking?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him because, I mean, why would you be wearing something that small? I mean, I don't go out in a pair of swimming shorts and a vest in January. I mean, if anything, that wouldn't attract any women either. So, yeah.
Exactly. I don't think you going around with a pair of swim shorts on in January is gonna get a lot of attention from girls. But again, try it. Why not? You only live once, and things like that. So the last one, the most important one, is you're old when you stop having fun. Okay, I think we can both say this is something that will never happen to us. Hey, Corporal Coma.
I mean, yeah, we're non-stop party animals, so it's never going to happen. Live fast, die young.
Oh, totally. Yes, I have fun reading Harry Potter before I go to bed. I have fun waking up early, even if I don't need to, and exercising and wearing slippers. Shoot me. Who cares?
Fun is subjective. If that's fun for you, then that's fun.
Well, exactly. One thing about fun, though, that I specifically wanted to ask you was on your stag when, you got carried away. So when you get carried away, you get kind of lost in the moment. We had these boats. We were moving around, having lots of fun. And then Corporal Coma, for some reason, decided to try and jump between one boat to the other boat. Corporal Coma is also the least sporty person I know. So if one person shouldn't be jumping between boats, it's Corporal Coma. And how did that finish?
I think I was saying to some of my other friends the other day, the front of my leg is still brown where I actually injured myself so badly. I don't think it's never gonna go back to normal. I'm just going to have to get an all-over tan so that the brown patch matches the rest of my body.
So it's a nice vocabulary there. Brown patch, like the brown bit, basically. I just remember looking one way and then I just heard like a big bang, like, and then I look and then Corporal Coma is holding onto the boat. Half of his body is in the water and the other half is holding the boat.
Yeah, I think I got the flu after that as well. So it was absolutely brilliant.
That should be a warning. Okay, yes, we like to have fun. Not too much fun, though, because if we try to have too much fun, you'll get a big brown patch on your leg and you'll get the flu.
Yeah, I mean, I jumped in a canal whilst dressed as a jockey and wasn't allowed to dry off. So
if people don't know, a jockey is someone that rides a horse. But there will be a picture of this, hopefully, on Facebook if Corporal Coma allows me to put it on Facebook. Okay, so make sure you follow Rock and Roll English on Facebook and Instagram to see Corporal Coma getting pulled out of a canal. Which
there is a good video of that, to be fair. My brother pulling me out, yeah.
Who says we don't have fun, hey? And this has been a lot of fun with you, Corporal Coma. Much more fun than I thought, to be honest. I was thinking, the Hellraiser's been here, Corporal Coma, we're going to have to talk about travel insurance. But, travel insurance can be fun too.
I think this has been a good episode. I put my all into it.
That's all we can ask. So if you put your all into something, you give it everything, your best effort. Anyway, thanks a lot for your time, Corporal Coma. I'm sure we will see you very soon.
Okay, look forward to it.
Me too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that was me speaking to Corporal Coma about getting old. Now let's look at some of that rock and roll vocabulary. At the beginning, when I asked Corporal Coma how he was, he said that he was always amazing. And then he said he used that term because he wants to mix it up. So he wants to change things. Look at that term, learn that term exactly as it is. Mix it up, change things. I then said that he is on fire today when he guessed right that there was no review. When you are on fire, you are doing everything right. He also said that he is an avid listener, so someone that listens a lot, someone that does something a lot, really. You can be an avid video game player, whatever you want. We also had the term grown up. I mean, that's quite simple. I'm sure you know that, but just to highlight to you, that's a noun we use. For example, we say to children, what do you want to do when you're grown up? We also had the term school night when I said, do you go to bed at 11 on a school night? And Corporal Coma said, absolutely not. So a school night is when you have school the next day, or if you have work the next day, you can still say on a school night. I then said to Corporal Coma that he is no spring chicken. So if you use this term, you're basically saying to someone, you're getting a bit old. You're no spring chicken, are you? You're not so young. Speaking of birthdays, I've literally just realised that the day this podcast goes out, it will be Corporal Coma's birthday. I kind of forgot about that. When I then said that I do piss in the shower, I said I'm telling it how it is. I'm telling the truth, how things are. A lovely term there, just telling it how it is. I'm just telling the truth about how things really are. Corporal Coma then said if he's eaten something dodgy, so something dodgy, something not safe, let's say, that plays games with your stomach. I then said that when you need to go to the toilet, when you wake up, when you're in bed, sometimes you can sleep it off. So you go back to sleep and it kind of goes away. Maybe you can have that with an illness as well. Maybe you're sick, you've got a bit of a cold, and then you sleep it off. You go to sleep and then you wake up and everything is fine. Then we got talking about the travel insurance, and Corporal Coma said it is costing him an arm and a leg. So if something costs you an arm and a leg, it costs you a lot of money. And then he said that he has 3 different travel insurance policies just to cover all angles, just to be completely safe. Then we had the words kooky and quirky, which are kind of ways to say a bit strange, but strange in a good way. Then we were talking about how he got carried away on his stag do. So when you get carried away, you get a bit overexcited, and that's exactly what happened to him, and that's why he ended up in the water. And from that incident, he said he has a brown patch on his leg. So a brown patch, a brown area, let's say. He also said he was dressed up as a jockey. So a jockey is a person that rides a horse, as in a horse to race. You know, you see horse racing, it's quite big in England. The people that ride the horses, what are they called? Jockeys, baby. And then at the end, he said that he has put his all into something. You give it all of your effort, baby. And yes, he did. So anyway, first of all, I would like to say happy birthday to Corporal Coma again. And then I would like to say that all of this rock and roll vocabulary is on the website rockandrollenglish.com, episode number 164. I will see you all again next week, people. But in the meantime, just keep on rocking, baby.
Thanks so much for listening to Rock and Roll English. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit rockandrollenglish.com and facebook.com/rockandrollenglish. We'll catch you next time.